Well, hello, and how are you all here today? I'm very happy to be here with you inside of a very special announcement that we have coming to you. And this announcement is going to be something that we will look back on for ages and appreciate. I am so grateful that we have this chance to sit in with you and talk about history with Bryant and Stratton College here of Syracuse. I've had to keep this from you, and I don't like doing that. So I'm very happy that we today get to bring you the newest head coach of the Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats women's basketball team. And with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, from on campus at Bryant and Stratton, I am now proud to bring you your new head coach. But I don't want to say the name. I'd rather the person just sit in the chair. So why don't we bring him over? Thank you. Appreciate it. So,
Thank you.
Of course, at a big time congratulations here to Tae Baker. Tae,
Yes, sir.
we've had to keep the secret.
Definitely.
How well do you feel like you kept the secret?
I think we did a pretty good job. It was hard to hold a secret. There was a few people, that reached out to me wanting to know if I got the position, and I basically kept telling them that I didn't get it yet, and I'm waiting for answers.
And so for you, how long did you have to keep it to yourself?
I would say for about 2 weeks now.
For about 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Bring me through the process, because obviously you've been connected to Bryant and Stratton College here,
Yes.
but haven't been a head coach yet. So bring me through the process of when the job became vacant, when Clay Gagen-Sherman moved over from women's basketball to take the men's basketball head coaching job. Did you jump on it right away? Did they talk with you? Did you go to them? How did everything shake out?
I was actually online just looking up, see what jobs were available in Syracuse, New York, and I seen a women's head coaching position. So I reached out to Coach Clay and I asked him what was going on. He explained the situation, and I told him that I would like to apply. And he told me to basically apply and to just go through the whole process, the hiring process. And when I applied, Nick reached out to me. I came and interviewed with Nick. He thought it went well. We both thought it went well. And then he introduced me to Sue.
Yeah.
And then I guess she was the one who basically confirmed it. And yes, sir.
What was it about your connection with Sue and getting to sit down with her as, obviously a big part of the administration here at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse? What did you take away from that interaction that you felt like maybe helped the case of you becoming the head coach?
When I met Sue, she likes a person who's like very determined, very dedicated, and want to basically bring the team to the next level. Like I explained to her how I had a great connection with all the old players, and how I think I would be a great fit. I explained different ways that I would fit into the program, and Sue liked that.
How do you feel when you say you describe the different ways that you would fit into the program? How do you feel you do fit into this program? What did you say to her?
I basically tell her that I'm very determined. I know the game, like the back of my hand. Like I played back. Basically, I'm saying I played ball for forever, and I had a little bit of coaching experience. And then when Coach Clay brought me on with him, I felt like I learned a lot more, a lot more about the game than I did before, and I feel like this gonna help.
With Coach Clay bringing you in to Bryant and Stratton initially, what can you say Clay Gagen-Sherman has done to help you be where you are today?
I feel like Coach Clay basically showed me the ropes. He showed me what we can and cannot do. He showed me what to expect from players, to basically hold everyone accountable. And that's pretty much it. Like he just showed me a lot of things that I know is going to help me out this year.
And for you to have this opportunity, to have this job, to be a head coach, not many people get to say that, right? It's a small percentage of the world that gets to be a head coach. So now that you finally can say you are a head coach, has that hit you yet?
It hasn't hit me. It's starting to hit me more and more, especially at this interview.
Yeah.
It's starting to hit me a lot more. I never thought I'd see myself being a head coach. You know, it's I would say it's like a dream come true because like I've actually lost real jobs just to go and play in basketball leagues,
Yeah.
and now this is at my actual job, so I don't have to. You know, I'm around basketball now 24/7, and that was always a dream come true to me. So
So, Bryant Stratton, to you, how would you define it? What does this college mean to you?
it means a lot. I like how when I first came here, you know, Coach Dan, or prior assistant, a prior men's coach, I like how he gave me an opportunity. You know, I was out of school for a little while, and then I just came here, and I told him I would like to play basketball. He did a little research, and that next day he had like a jersey, like, you know, you still want to play, Tay? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm glad I'm on the other side of the field now.
So, Dan Frisina, the first ever men's basketball head coach at Bryant Stratton College here in Syracuse,
Yes.
he gives you an opportunity to play,
To play, yes, sir.
and then Clay gives you an opportunity to coach.
Yes, sir.
So you've really gotten to be a part of men's and women's basketball in such a unique way. To be brought in as a player and an assistant and now be the head coach, you can honestly tell the student athletes you're recruiting that you've seen it all.
Right, exactly. And I felt like that was a big reason why they hired me too, is because of how much experience I got, you know, on the court and off the court with everyone.
What did you take away from playing here?
Um, what did I take away? I just what would I hold on, what do you mean?
Like, of your time here as a student athlete, what did you like about it? What was it about Bryan and Stratton that you thought was exciting, was fun? You know, playing for the Bobcats
Okay.
as opposed to playing anywhere else.
What was big for me when I first got here was my teammates. I really liked it. You know, the teammates. You know, they were all cool. They were all from like New York City and other places, and I just liked the bond we had. You know, on and off the basketball court, and that's yeah.
So having that bond with them and then becoming an assistant coach and shifting gears to that, how did you establish leadership with the student athletes and build that respect and that rapport that they could look to you? And I mean, because you're young,
Yes.
you know, so how do you build that respect with the student athletes to look at you as a true coach on the staff?
I just feel like everything. I feel like we're gonna have to basically establish all rules at the beginning. Like any problems, we're gonna nip it in the butt early. We're not gonna let things drag on. Um, I just want to just stay focused this year. You know, I want all the girls to basically, you know, like each other, play, you know, because they're gonna be around each other for a long time. So
And you got to spend time with them, obviously, as an assistant. So you've gotten to experience what it's like to be around these women already.
yes,
So, how do you transfer from an assistant to a head coach? Because sometimes the assistant's like the big brother,
right,
and then the head coach is the parent. So,
right, right.
how do you establish that leadership with the players to say, hey, you know, we had this bond before, and then does it change for you now, or do you think that the bond stays the same? How do you look at that?
I think with me and coach used to talk about this a lot last year with me being assistant coach. It was like good cop, bad cop,
Yeah.
and I feel like coach sometimes was the bad cop and I was the good cop.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna have to play that role coach is playing, and I still want to have a great relationship with the girls. But I feel like things are gonna change a little bit. You know, the relationship and everything. Like I'm still gonna be. I feel like I'm gonna be more like the parent now. Like I'm gonna have to discipline.
But your mark on the women's basketball program here, how are we going to know that it's Tay's team?
Um, Basically, I want to make this. If the girls are paying attention, I want to make this a defensive team this year. Like defense really wins games. You know, Coach Clay did a great job too. You know, last year, and I felt like we were good on offense and not as good as on defense. So if we have a lot of those girls coming back next year, I feel like we're still going to be good on offense, but even better on defense this year.
So you want to focus in on defense. Have you always been that way, even as a player?
Yes. Like I could score. Like I was always an offensive player.
Yeah.
But I always had great team around me who was great at defense. So that opened up a lot of opportunities for me to score, for me to hit threes and things like that. You know.
You were an assistant to Clay. Do you have an assistant in place now for you?
I don't have one right now, but I do have a few in mind. I have a few friends around Syracuse that's really good with like assistant coaching who already have experience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reach out to them like today. I was just waiting for the announcement.
So for you, what are you looking for in an assistant coach? What are the pieces that you think are really important foundationally that you want them to have?
I just want them to basically have time, you know, because I know it could be time consuming, but I want them to have time. I want them to be dedicated, you know. Uh, I want them to be able to make all the practices, you know, because there's going to be times where I may have 15, 16 girls
Yeah.
and can't work with everyone at once. So I would like, you know, to have someone to work with the bigs and I can work with guards and we can swap. So
What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about being here, being able to work with the new crew, being able to work side by side by Coach Clay again. I'm really excited about being the head coach. Like that's
Yeah.
the most exciting to me.
When they told you, bring me into how you were given the news that you're the new head coach for women's basketball. How did they? Was it a phone call? Did they call you into the office? What happened?
Yep. So like I said, I interviewed twice.
Yeah.
I came in both times, and for the hiring stage, when they hired me, they actually called me, and it
Where
took.
were you?
I was at home. Oh no, I was actually driving. And when I got the phone call, I put it on speakerphones for my family to hear it.
Yeah.
And when he mentioned it, I just was like, wow. I was excited. Like I said, it didn't hit me right away. It's just now hitting me. But I was extremely excited when I got the news.
Did you put it on speaker before Nick said that you had the job? So were you that confident in that?
Well, basically, Nick had called me a day or two before,
Okay.
and he said he would call me back.
Okay.
So when I seen his number on my caller ID,
Yeah.
I kind of knew. I didn't know because he could have easily said he gave the job to someone else. But when I had it on speakerphone, something was telling me that he was going to offer me the job.
So who was in the car with you?
Me, my girl, my daughter, and that's it.
And that's it?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They were extremely excited though. So
Yeah.
my daughter was happy, like silently clapping.
What's your daughter's name?
Mariah.
Mariah. How old's Mariah?
Mariah just turned 9.
Just turned 9.
Yep.
So she's feeling it. She likes
She's
her dad as a
feeling
head
it,
coach now. How involved will Mariah be? Will she be around, helping you out at practice? I know some coaches like to bring their kids off to practice and be a part of it. So what's Mariah's role in your opinion?
Definitely, she would definitely be involved. She's been with me since I've been playing basketball all my life. Like when I played college at OCC prior,
Yeah.
she were at those games. She came to these games at Bryant Stratton, and now that I'm the head coach, she's gonna come to the games as well. Also, I would like for her to sit on the bench if that's possible.
I was gonna say the unofficial assistant.
Right.
Yeah, over there. What
the
phone
boss
call was the first one that you made outside of who was in the car with you? Who did you call first to tell that you got the job to?
The first person I called was my mom. Yep, I let
What's
her
mom's
know.
name?
Tanya.
Tanya. What'd
Yep,
Tanya say?
Baker. She was happy. Everyone knew about the opportunity, but when I called them and confirmed it, everyone was extremely happy.
So, mom's best piece of advice, did she say anything to you?
To stay focused, continue. My mom always telling me to stay focused, and like she knew the situation. She was basically saying just to keep the program going, like keep up a good program.
For you, you believe that you can be successful at this. Why?
Because like I said, basketball is pretty much all I know.
Yeah.
I train kids already around Syracuse, so I'm familiar with teaching kids how to play basketball, and it's pretty cool. Like I said, that I can do it not 24/7, but throughout the year now with these girls, the knowledge that I know, the way I grew up playing basketball, I can teach these girls the same exact thing.
For you to be a women's basketball head coach, what excites you about the women's game? Because there's so much good that I think sometimes doesn't get talked about enough. So what do you love about the women's game?
I like that they're extremely passionate, just like us men are in basketball. I didn't know that until I started coaching with, Coach Clay. I like how they're very serious. I like how there's guards. Like I didn't know there was guards who can play ball like like the men do. There's on the women's side. There's girls that can really hoop. Who can really dribble. Who how we would say this kid can play like AI.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson. There's girls that can play like that too. And I found that out last year. Like, I didn't know we had that much talent.
So, seeing the talent that you have, what can you say about recruiting moving forward? And I know you talked about this team is going to be defensively minded, but how would you describe your recruiting kind of theme or motif and whatnot? How would you describe what you're looking for in recruiting?
I'm basically because like I said, I played on many teams before. I want to play. I want to recruit girls who can get along with other girls. I want to recruit girls who can play side by side other girls. I want to recruit girls who know their role because everyone has a role, even if you believe it or not. On a basketball court, point guard, shoot guard, and on. I just want to recruit girls who want to graduate. Number one, who really want to come to school but want to hoop. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for. Like, just like you want it. You gotta want it more than the coach wants it. But we gonna be there to support.
Tae Baker, your new Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats women's basketball head coach, taking over as of right now, and we can finally unveil the picture that I've been holding on to here. Tae Baker, women's basketball head coach inside the USCAA here at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse for the Bobcats. And as always, folks, we appreciate you so very much. With the Bobcat Buzz coming to you every single month exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. This exclusive has been brought to you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media from on campus, on site, the Bobcat Buzz here at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, right here in our community of Central and Upstate New York. Tay, the patience is over. The waiting is over.
Yes, sir.
And after 2 weeks of having to keep it to yourself, man,
yes,
congratulations.
It, man.
As we have our new head coach for women's basketball here at Bryant Stratton College. Bobcats, be ready.
Yes, sir.
And definitely be looking out for Tay on the recruiting trail. I can't wait to see what you're going to do.
Appreciate it again, Dan.
Thank you so much. We'll talk with you all soon. Be safe, be well, and as always, God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon.